Hello everybody and welcome to my review of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. For you who don't know, this will be my first review in English because I'm a Dutch person, but I decided to do the videos in English from now on. I've been gone for a long time, but I'm back now with the hope of doing a series of all the original Disney movies, not the straight to DVD bullshit movies, but the classics, the originals, starting with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from 1937. It's an oldie. So starting off with the good about this movie, and with this movie you have the problem that you cannot really review it as just a movie, but more as a culture, as something that is special because it's so old and it's the first animated movie. You see it more as a historical movie than just, oh look, it's a normal animated movie. For me, I have a lot of respect for it for what it did back then and how groundbreaking it was. My first positive thing for the movie is the queen, the evil queen. I don't like her in the beginning when she's just a normal woman, but I think that when she turns in the evil witch, she is really cool. She has a nasty, grimming voice. She has a cool look to herself. And I know there are a lot of people out there to think that she is a little bit racist, that she looks like a Jewish propaganda thing, but I don't really see that in her. I think she's a nice bad guy who is really intimidating, and back then the bad guys hadn't really like a big motive or a big story. They just were there as a something to attack our main character. And another thing that I like about this movie, and the thing that I think that most people like about it, is the Seven Dwarfs. I think that the Seven Dwarfs have a very much more fun character than Snow White herself. I think personally the Snow White is a little bit dull, but the dwarfs are really nice because they only have their really stereotypical personality. Like one is just sleeping all the time, grumpy is always grumpy. Everybody knows them. And something else that was really impactful about the dwarfs is that like Grumpy is grumpy all the time, and he doesn't like Snow White. But when she dies in the end, and he is crying too, that makes a more impact to you as a watcher of the movie, because he never liked her, and in the end you see his emotional side when she dies, and that makes the death more painful to watch personally. So I think that they did a really good job with that. And my final really big positive is the animation, because it is the first animated movie, and I'm sure that the version I watched will have a lot of remastering behind it, but I still love it. That it's the first animated movie. I think it's very impressive for what it did, and I still love it today. I prefer hand-drawn animation over CGI like Frozen and all the stuff we have nowadays. And I think this is a movie that really shows that even if it is really old, it can still look really great and have more imagination to it. Then moving on to the bad things, because this is not a perfect movie whatsoever, and my first main thing that I don't like about this movie is the story. I think personally that there is not really a story. The story is, of course, that Snow White is running away from the evil queen, but after she has run away and she goes to the dwarfs, the story kind of goes to the background, and it's more about uh, the dwarfs and Snow White just having a nice time together, and that's it. Because this was the first animated movie, the movie focused more on, look, it's animated and what can we do with it, and not much about giving you a really big story that a lot of animated movies don't have. But this one in particular has not really a big story, besides the fact that the queen wants to kill her. What even not really makes sense if you think about it, because she wants to kill the princess and she's the queen, so I don't know really with Disney the story, is she the real mother or another kind of related person to her, but It's really weird that you just want to kill a child for that reason. Another thing that I don't like about the movie is the ending, because out of nowhere the prince shows up and he kisses her and they go have a happy life, zeg maar happy ever after. But there's no reason whatsoever for the prince to just show up there and kisses her. Like, oh, I see a corpse in the wood, let's go kiss it. What? Why would you do that? No, stop it. In a normal world you would get arrested for it, but yeah, it works, but why? That's all I have to say for it. Why? Why did that ending happen? Uh, Another thing that I don't like about this movie, when I watched the old Disney movies again for this series, I realized that a lot of these songs have like a opera style voice to it. Like the singers, you almost can't hear what they're singing. I really have to use the subtitles because the way they sing it, I don't understand what they're saying whatsoever, and that pulls me out of the movie. I don't think this movie has a lot of good songs. There are a lot of um, classic songs like "Someday My Prince Will Come." It's a classic song, but I don't really like it. The only song that I really like about this movie is the song that the dwarfs sing when they go home, the Hi Ho song. But the rest is just a little bit forgettable for me. And this movie doesn't have a really lot of songs if you think about it. I do like the animation that go with the songs, like the cleaning song, and you see all the animals helping Snow White cleaning the room. I think that's a really nice way of the birds and the animals using the song, but I don't like the song itself. And my last negative is the pacing, and that's a problem that just old movies have. That the story, and there is not a lot of story here, so that's the problem too. The story doesn't float very well. It just goes from scene to scene to scene, and you could watch any of these scenes in any order, a lot of these scenes, and you would still have the same movie because it doesn't matter, because the scenes doesn't follow up each other really nicely. You have that with like from the moment the dwarfs come in, but before that you can watch all of these scenes and it wouldn't matter. Like the scene when the prince comes in the beginning and then he comes in the end. There's no reason why you would have him in the beginning because it doesn't matter because you only see him in the end. It's like they show him in the beginning so you know, oh, there's a prince and he will come back, but he doesn't need to be there because his whole character is just stupid for to be in this movie. He could be written out of this movie completely and the movie would still be the same because the story is not focused on it. So I think that the pacing is a really bit off in this movie. After all, guys, I think this, for the first animated movie ever, it's a really great movie. If I watch it back, I have a lot of respect for it. I think this is a movie that you cannot really watch just as a movie nowadays because of how old it is, but I can watch it and respect it for what it is and what came after it, because Disney is it is the biggest movie maker organization at the moment, and this movie helped them, of course, because Walt Disney had a lot of risks making that movie, but I think it paid off. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10, and let's see what the other movies from Disney will do. I will start with the other movies soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have your own thoughts on the video, if you think that I said something you don't agree with, tell me in the comments. I will react on them. And if nobody sees this video, that can also be true because it will be my first in English. So goodbye everybody and have a nice day.